Welcome back to the PMP Certification Prep Training course. Project Management, Building, Managing, and Empowering Project Teams. Building project teams is the strategic process of assembling, developing, and unifying individuals with diverse skills and backgrounds into a cohesive, high-performing unit capable of delivering exceptional results. It goes beyond mere resource allocation. It requires fostering trust, clarifying roles, and creating a collaborative culture where each member is motivated, valued, and aligned with the project's vision and goals. Effective team building involves intentional efforts such as defining clear objectives, facilitating open communication, and providing opportunities for professional growth. By investing in team cohesion and psychological safety, project managers transform groups of individuals into empowered teams that innovate, adapt, and overcome challenges together, turning collective effort into measurable success. A team's vision and mission are the North Star that aligns every action, decision, and effort toward a shared purpose. The vision inspires ambition, painting a compelling picture of what the project aims to achieve, while the mission grounds the team in practical value, clarifying how their work contributes to larger organizational goals. A visionary project manager champions this clarity, promoting collaboration, providing effective tools, removing obstacles, and continuously educating the team on the value they create. By fostering pride in accomplishments and maintaining focus amid challenges, the leader transforms individual tasks into meaningful contributions. This cultivates a motivated, cohesive team that not only understands the what and why of their work, but also feels empowered to innovate and excel. Ultimately, a well-articulated vision and mission turns strategy into inspiration, driving engagement, accountability, and exceptional outcomes. A team charter is the foundational document that crystallizes a team's purpose, structure, and norms, transforming individual members into a unified, high-performing unit. It explicitly defines the mission, scope, and goals, ensuring everyone understands the why behind their work and the boundaries within which they operate. By outlining roles, responsibilities, and metrics for success, it eliminates ambiguity, fosters accountability, and leverages diverse strengths and skills to maximize collective impact. Beyond logistics, the charter embeds shared values, behavioral norms, and even fun team rituals to build trust, cohesion, and resilience. It includes a communications plan and coordination tools to ensure seamless interaction and data sharing. This living document not only aligns the team with project objectives, but also cultivates a culture of collaboration, respect, and celebration, turning individual effort into extraordinary collective achievement. In summary, Team Charter is the DNA of high-performing teams. And here is why this matters. Research from Harvard University shows teams with charters are 42% faster in managing conflicts resolutions. Also, Gartner Group mentioned that team charters provide 35% higher alignment on priorities. Team charter is the difference between a group and a team. A high-performing team requires a diverse set of essential skills to navigate challenges and drive success. Conflict management, cultural awareness, decision-making, and facilitation enable constructive collaboration and inclusive problem-solving, while leadership, meeting management, negotiation, and networking ensure clarity, alignment, and stakeholder engagement. These skills form the backbone of effective teamwork, allowing members to leverage individual strengths toward common goals. Complementing these abilities, practices like observation, conversation, and servant leadership foster trust, empathy, and empowerment, putting the team's needs first. Strategic team grouping further optimizes dynamics by pairing complementary skills and personalities. Together, these competencies and approaches create an adaptable, resilient, and cohesive unit capable of exceeding expectations and turning collective effort into measurable results. Project leadership today demands mastery of 12 core capabilities. The difference between managing tasks and leading transformation can be summarized as follows. Number 1. Conflict alchemist, turning friction into innovation. Number 2. Cultural architect, building bridges across diverse perspectives. Number 3. Decision catalyst, moving from analysis to action at the right speed. Number 4. Facilitation maestro, orchestrating collaboration that creates breakthroughs. A second layer to consider is the daily disciplines represented by servant leadership, which is removing barriers before teams hit them. Meeting science, like a 57 minutes max policy for meetings, so that decisions are considered not discussions. Also, network intelligence, which is mapping and leveraging invisible org connections. Remember that observant leaders' secret weapons are conversational radar for hearing what's not being said. Team thermodynamics for sensing when to group, when to separate. Finally, remember these aren't soft skills. They're hard currency for 21st century project success. Diversity and inclusion are transformative forces that elevate team performance by integrating a rich tapestry of skills, expertise, industry experiences, cultural backgrounds, and languages. This diversity fuels innovation, creativity, and resilience, enabling teams to approach challenges from multiple perspectives and develop robust solutions. However, its true power is unlocked through mutual trust, a foundation that boosts morale, reduces conflict, and strengthens collaboration. By actively promoting cross-training, mentoring, empowerment, and inclusive decision-making, organizations foster an environment where every voice is valued and every member can thrive. This commitment not only enhances teamwork and performance, but also builds a culture of belonging and respect. Ultimately, diversity and inclusion are not just ethical imperatives, they are strategic advantages that drive excellence, adaptability, and sustainable success. Diversity and cultural awareness are critical leadership competencies that shape how teams collaborate, innovate, and achieve goals. Effective leaders recognize that motivations, communication styles, and working relationships are influenced by factors like culture, experience, and roles, and they adapt their approach to foster inclusivity and trust. By challenging the status quo, they create space for new ideas and perspectives, driving innovation and resilience. Leadership in this context transcends traditional management. It requires ethics, integrity, trustworthiness, and strong conceptual and analytical skills to guide diverse teams toward shared visions. It involves clear communication, empathetic collaboration, and strategic direction, ensuring every team member feels valued and empowered. Ultimately, embracing diversity isn't just about representation, it's about leveraging unique strengths to build stronger, more adaptive, and high-performing teams capable of exceeding expectations in a globalized world. The difference between good project managers and extraordinary leaders often comes down to mastering these 8 interpersonal superpowers. 1. Active listening, which is reflected in hearing the unspoken, like when a developer's "I'm fine" really means "I'm drowning in tech debt." 2. Communication style flexibility, like switching from data-driven for your CFO to story-driven for your end users. 3. Emotional intelligence, for example, reading the room temperature before critical decisions, sensing when to push and when to pause. 4. Influencing without authority. An example is getting compliance to say yes by showing how controls actually accelerate delivery. 5. Motivational mapping, which is like knowing Sarah thrives on public praise while Jamal wants stretch assignments. 6. Nominal group technique, like structured ideation that prevents loud voices from dominating, giving introverts equal airtime. 7. Political awareness. A good example is navigating the organizational chart versus the real influence network. 8. Radical transparency, like sharing the ugly numbers early to prevent bad news aging. It is important for project managers to master these personal skills so that they won't just manage projects, they'll lead technological advancement movements. we've moved from pyramids to podcasts in team structures. The PM as a conductor, assigning tasks, tracking hours, micromanaging deliverables. Self-organizing teams, where the PM as stage crew, removing roadblocks, securing resources, while specialists orchestrate their own work. This resembles the shift from I manage you to I enable your brilliance. What fuels these teams? 6 rocket boosters. 1. Research, continuous learning baked into sprints. 2. Innovation, 20% time for technical debt or wild ideas. 3. Strategy, autonomy within guardrails. 4. Vision, not just tasks, we're revolutionizing X. 5. Teamwork, T-shaped skills over silos. 6. Marketing, selling their own achievements upward. The magic of self-organization these teams resemble in self-diagnose skill gaps and pull SMEs, self-correct without waiting for reviews, and self-scale, PMs focus on environment design over task assignment. Modern teams need 2 DNA strands working together. First is the T-shaped experts, deep mastery in one core area that is the vertical bar plus collaborative breadth across disciplines that is the horizontal. These are your innovation catalysts. They speak multiple professional languages. Second is the V-shaped hybrids, specialists who strategically expand into adjacent fields like a front-end dev learning DevOps. These are your future-proofers, building bridges before we need them. The ecosystem they need is self-organizing teams thrive when we provide them the following. 1. Workspace design, like team pods, focus caves or venues, and makerspaces. 2. Tools, like real-time dashboards instead of weekly reports. 3. Governance, like stakeholders set the what while teams own the how. Project leadership isn't about hierarchy, it's about strategic influence navigation across 4 dimensions. 1. Upward influence, managing executives by translating project needs into their KPIs, speak ROI, not timelines. 2. Downward influence, leading specialists through autonomy with guardrails, T-shaped teams hate micromanagement. 3. Outward influence, aligning vendors partners via mutual benefit framing, their success equals your success. 4. Sideward influence, collaborating with peer PMs through resource trading, I'll lend you a DevOps engineer next sprint if. But not all influence is equal. That's where the salience model sharpens your focus. The salience model is your influence prioritizer. There are 3 filters to rank stakeholder attention. 1. Power, who can literally stop this project? 2. Urgency, who's screaming loudest with justification? 3. Legitimacy, whose involvement is ethically mandatory? High-performance agile teams don't just work together, they think together. Here are the 3 must-have. 1. Co-location chemistry. 2. Workspace design zones for team syncs, deep work focus rooms, and accidental collisions like the coffee and snacks breakout areas that spark innovation. 3. Communication culture. Considering the rules of engagement, remember the following. No passive aggression, I need help with, beats silent struggles. All voices equal juniors interrupt seniors when they spot risks. Failure transparency, bug bashes celebrated as learning. Empowering project teams means providing them with the autonomy, resources, and trust to take ownership of their work and make meaningful decisions. It involves granting access to information, tools, and opportunities for learning and growth, while fostering a culture of positive thinking and ethical accountability. This empowerment aligns individual goals with project objectives, turning potential into action and transforming teams into proactive, innovative, and high-performing units. By sharing power and responsibility, leaders unlock creativity, boost engagement, and drive exceptional results. Team empowerment is the cornerstone of high performance, uniting individuals into a cohesive force driven by shared ownership and accountability. By engaging the team in timely decision-making and clarifying, prioritizing, and splitting tasks collaboratively, the project manager fosters a sense of responsibility and commitment to deliverables. This approach avoids disruptive interference, instead encouraging activities that strengthen trust and motivation. Ultimately, empowerment transforms the team from following directions to leading outcomes, innovating, adapting, and taking pride in their work. It's not just about assigning tasks. It's about creating an environment where every member feels capable, trusted, and invested in the project's success. Key performance indicators are essential metrics used to objectively evaluate a team's overall performance against project objectives, ensuring alignment with strategic goals. These indicators should adhere to the SMART criteria: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, to provide clarity, focus, and actionable insights. Regular assessment of KPIs, both formally and informally, allows project managers to identify team potential, track progress, and address gaps proactively. By monitoring these metrics continuously, leaders can foster accountability, drive improvement, and ensure that every team member's efforts contribute directly to the project's success, turning individual performance into collective achievement. Every high-performing team evolves through 5 predictable stages. The key is accelerating through them. 1. Forming. This is when the polite phase team members are probing boundaries while building initial trust. Bureau. Speed dating exercises to fast-track connections. 2. Storming. This is when hidden conflicts surface. This is actually progress. Facilitate structured debates to align on working styles, not suppress tension. 3. Norming. This is the rhythm emerges, stand-ups become productive, disagreements become constructive. Now document these norms as team commandments. 4. Performing. This is the sweet spot. Team self-corrects like an elite sports team. Your job shifts to removing roadblocks and extending runways for innovation. 5. Adjourning. This is often overlooked. Properly celebrate wins and capture lessons. Teams that skip this lose 30% of knowledge. Remember that teams don't graduate from storming. They cycle through it at deeper levels with each new challenge. Virtual teams aren't just remote workers. They're high-trust networks operating across time zones. 3 game-changing realities. 1. Always-on collaboration. Tools like Slack, Zoom create continuous workflows, no more waiting for Monday. But the killer feature? Async documentation that outlives meetings. 2. Talent without borders. Your best DevOps engineer might be in Oslo. Your UX wizard in Sao Paulo. Location-agnostic teams beat local ones in diversity of thought. 3. Results-only culture. No FaceTime pressure, just deliverables. MIT found virtual teams working flexible hours produce 42% more innovative solutions. You can't replicate office culture. You must invent something better. Here are 3 non-negotiables for virtual leaders. 1. Over-communicate. Context is assume nothing. 2. Design is the collision moments. 3. Celebrate loudly like public shoutouts. Modern problems demand fluid expertise. Enter network teams. Here are the 4 powerhouse variants. 1. Parallel teams, like pit crews, short bursts of specialists rotating through projects. Perfect for regulatory sprints or incident response. 2. Product teams, embedded squads owning entire value streams, from code to customer support. Key trait: they outlive roadmaps. 3. Service teams, the special forces of operations deploying globally to standardize processes. Think ERP rollouts with local nuance. 4. Management teams, not just executives, cross-level councils that blend frontline reality with strategy. Avoids the ivory tower effect. Co-location, your infrastructure powerhouse. Co-location facilities are the shared skyscrapers of digital infrastructure, where enterprises rent secure, high-performance space for their hardware. 3 critical tiers. 1. Space and power. Rack units in carrier-neutral data centers with redundant 2N power. No more fighting office HVAC for your servers. 2. Connectivity. Direct peering with cloud on-ramps and IXPs. Latency drops by 40% plus versus in-office hosting. 3. Security. Biometrics, 24/7 monitoring, and SOC 2 compliance. Physical protection that outpaces most corporate offices. Versus cloud, co-location gives you hardware control without the real estate headaches. The project manager plays a pivotal role in conflict management, acting as both a facilitator and a servant leader who influences the direction and resolution of disputes while empowering the team to take ownership. While all stakeholders share responsibility for managing conflict, the PM leverages interpersonal and team skills, such as active listening, negotiation, and empathy, to guide discussions toward constructive outcomes. In agile environments, this involves creating a safe space for open dialogue and removing impediments that fuel tension, ensuring conflicts are addressed proactively and collaboratively. By balancing authority with support, the PM transforms potential disruptions into opportunities for growth, alignment, and strengthened team dynamics. Conflict doesn't emerge from nowhere, it grows from these predictable seeds. 1. Personality clashes. Ensure to strength finder sessions to reframe gaps as complements. 2. Value misalignment. That is, when ship fast devs collide with perfect docs compliance. Expose these early through pre-mortem exercises. 3. Goal competition. Like sales wants features, engineering craves stability. The fix for this is to co-create weighted scorecards balancing both. 4. Role ambiguity, for example, who owns QA? Conflicts vanish with RACI matrices refreshed every sprint. 5. Communication breakdowns, like not just what is said, how it lands. Implement message checks. What I heard was. Masterful conflict management isn't about avoiding clashes, it's about engineering growth from them. The stakes? Innovation sparks from reconciled perspectives. The tactical toolkit 5 proven methods. Match the tool to the tension. 1. Collaborating that is a win-win. For complex issues needing innovation, let's merge our approaches into something better. 2. Compromising that is lose-lose. When deadlines loom, we'll take 70% of each proposal and revisit post-launch. 3. Accommodating that is lose-win. 4 low-stakes battles. Your call this time, I'll save my capital for bigger fights. 4. Competing that is win-lose. In crises, we're standardizing on X. Compliance isn't optional here. 5. Avoiding that is lose-lose. For tempers flaring, let's pause and reconvene with data tomorrow. The 5 conflict resolution powers. 1. Withdraw, avoid. This is like the strategic retreat. When tensions are high but stakes are low. Example, let's table this until after the client demo. This is best for preserving relationships when timing is wrong. 2. Smooth, accommodate. This is like the relationship saver. When maintaining harmony outweighs the issue. Example, your approach works better for this MVP. This is best for building goodwill with stakeholders. 3. Compromise, reconcile. This represents the 50-50 solution. Good when deadlines demand progress over perfection. Example, We'll use your framework but my timeline. This is best for time-sensitive trade-offs. For force direct, this is the decisive strike. When compliance is non-negotiable. Example, security protocols aren't optional here. Best for safety, legal, or existential issues. 5. Collaborate, problem solve. This is the innovation spark. When both sides hold truth. Example, let's prototype both designs and test. Best for complex problems needing creativity. Weak PMs default to one style. Great PMs diagnose first, then choose, like a conflict resolution sommelier. Watch what happens when we get collaboration right. 1. Trust sparks dialogue. Psychological safety, which even leads to dumb questions get asked. According to MIT Institution, it is 83% faster issue resolution. 2. Dialogue aligns expectations. Active listening plus visual workboards leads to stakeholders seeing the progress made. This also leads to about 40% fewer change requests. 3. Alignment drives engagement. Clear why plus autonomy leads to voluntary overtime drops while output jumps 35%. 4. Engagement fuels transparency. Teams that own outcomes demand open real-time dashboards, which leads to forecasting accuracy improves by 28%. This isn't theory, it's how SpaceX teams iterate from failure to Mars in record time. True leadership isn't just about delivering projects, it's about delivering high-performing teams. Here's how coaching creates lasting impact. 1. Skill acceleration shown in targeted coaching bridges, knowing versus doing through just-in-time skills sprints, shadow pairing with your top performers. 2. Career rocket fuel shown through great mentoring that provides direction and clear competency paths. Also, advice like battle-tested lessons. And advocacy like opening doors to stretch assignments. 3. Team exponential growth. When you coach one, you elevate all through knowledge radiation through coached members teach others, culture coding like embedding your best practices, and success recycling through turning wins into case studies. Leading through constant change is the constant. Everything else changes. Here's how exceptional leaders navigate perpetual transformation. 1. The compassionate pivot. When shifting methodologies like from waterfall to agile, they acknowledge the grief of letting go. Celebrate quick wins in the new approach, and protect learning time like 20% buffer in early sprints. 2. Future-proof mentoring. Don't just teach today's skills, build adaptability muscles through unlearning workshops, T-shaped development, and failure simulations. Mastering projects means mastering human dynamics. There are 7 science-backed techniques. 1. Self-awareness radar. Pause when frustrated and simply ask, is my tone helping or harming? Name the emotion to tame it. 2. Behavior autopsy. Post-meeting, did I dominate or enable? Track patterns with a meeting mood journal. 3. Ripple effect mapping. Notice, when you tense up, does your team go silent? Emotions are contagious. 4. Nonverbal decoding. That crossed arms could mean focus or resistance. Probe gently. I notice your quiet thoughts. 5. Contextual calibration. A smile during layoffs reads as insensitive. Always filter cues through what's happening. 6. Empathic presence. Before speaking, scan faces. Are they confused or impatient? 7. Strategic mirroring. Match energy. If they're leaning in, you lean in. Fast talking? Pick up the pace. According to Gallup, leaders with high EQ have teams with 31% less turnover. Also, according to Hay Group, have 19% higher productivity. Effective project team management requires clear communication, defined roles, and shared goals to align efforts and foster collaboration. It involves empowering teams through autonomy, providing necessary resources, and addressing conflicts proactively to maintain trust and motivation. By leveraging leadership skills like active listening, feedback, and adaptability, a project manager transforms individual talents into a cohesive, high-performing unit capable of overcoming challenges and delivering exceptional results. The RACI, or may be pronounced also as RACI matrix, is the project manager accountability blueprint. According to PMI, around 37% of project delays stem from unclear ownership. This isn't just a grid, it's your anti-chaos weapon. For each activity, we clarify 4 roles. 1. Responsible: the doers, engineering builds, QA tests. Multiple RS create redundancy. 2. Accountable: the single point of ownership, only one A per activity. They own the outcome. 3. Consulted: the subject experts, purchasing advises on vendor costs before decisions. 4. Informed: the keep in loop, manufacturing gets updates after design freezes. This document isn't bureaucracy, it's your team's constitution. 5 non-negotiables. 1. Values in action, not just words, behaviors. Example: we listen to understand by repeating key points before responding. 2. Communication protocol, Slack for urgent, email for formal, Teams for collaboration. Response times baked in. 3. Decision-making DNA, when we decide, data wins arguments, votes for priorities, A's call for execution. 4. Conflict resolution, the 3R rule: recognize tension, respect differences, and resolve with EBIs. 5. Code of conduct, our social contract. Performance: we own outcomes, not just tasks. Growth: we give real-time peer feedback. And risk: we flag blockers before they explode. According to a Harvard University study, teams with strong charters report 41% less rework because they prevent fires instead of fighting them. Team norms are the agreed-upon standards that guide behavior, collaboration, and decision-making within a project team. They should explicitly address meeting protocols, communication methods, conflict resolution processes, shared values, and how decisions are made to ensure consistency and mutual respect. By establishing these norms early, teams create a foundation of trust and predictability. Effective conflict management is essential to prevent destructive behavior, animosity, and declines in performance or productivity. It involves addressing disagreements constructively through open dialogue, active listening, and mediated solutions, turning potential disruptions into opportunities for growth and innovation. When norms and conflict management are prioritized, teams maintain focus, morale, and alignment, enabling them to achieve their goals efficiently and harmoniously. The Kano model is a useful framework for product teams looking for a systematic approach to feature prioritization. Dr. Kano articulated 3 levels of customer needs: expected, normal, and exciting. Understanding these needs and how to optimize for them is vital for any product team tasked with increasing customer satisfaction. The Kano model prioritizes your feature ideas into a clear development plan based on performance enhancement and customer satisfaction levels. The Kano model avoids feature development on ideas that won't enhance customer satisfaction so that you can please your customers quicker. Moscow prioritization, also known as the Moscow method or Moscow analysis, is a popular prioritization technique for managing requirements. The acronym Moscow represents 4 categories of initiatives: must have, should have, could have, and won't have, or will not have right now. Once the must-haves are identified, they are further broken down into smaller tasks, or should-haves. These should-haves are then prioritized according to their importance. Finally, the remaining tasks are classified as either could-haves or won't-haves. Paired comparison is the process of comparing a set of options using head-to-head pairs to judge which one is the most preferred overall. Also known as paired ranking, it is a popular research method used for ranking people's preferences, informing strategic decisions, and conducting voting at scale. Paired comparison analysis is useful for weighing up the relative importance of different options. It's particularly helpful where priorities aren't clear, where the options are completely different, where evaluation criteria are subjective, or where they're competing in importance. 100-point method. The 100-point method was developed by Dean Leffingwell and Don Widrick. It involves giving the customer 100 points they can use to vote for the user stories that are most important. The $100 test is a simple yet effective technique for prioritizing requirements. It involves giving team members a hypothetical budget of $100 representing limited resources and asking them to allocate the money to different features based on their perceived value. Prioritization techniques are essential for aligning project objectives with stakeholder needs and resource constraints. The Moscow method categorizes requirements into must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, and want-haves, ensuring focus on what truly matters. The Kano model adds depth by classifying features based on customer satisfaction, basic needs, performance attributes, and delighters, highlighting how priorities evolve over time. Complementary approaches like the 100-point method, where stakeholders allocate points to features to democratically gauge value, and paired comparison analysis, systematically comparing options to reveal relative importance, provide data-driven clarity. Together, these techniques transform subjective preferences into structured, transparent decisions, enabling teams to deliver maximum value efficiently while adapting to changing expectations and constraints. Metrics shouldn't just track, they should trigger action. Here's the dashboard that matters. 1. Execution health. Look beyond % complete to defect escape rate, burn down variance, critical path float. 2. Stakeholder pulse. Satisfaction surveys asking, would you recommend this team? How painful was this change request? 3. Agile specific signals. Accepted stories versus team's definition of done. Very low satisfaction despite basic execution. Code red. Very high satisfaction with excellent execution. Celebrate. The Lessons Learned Register is a vital project document that captures knowledge, insights, and improvements gained throughout a project, ensuring that valuable experiences are recorded and utilized both immediately and in future initiatives. An effective team consistently reviews its performance, identifying successes, challenges, and specific actionable improvements to enhance overall efficiency, adaptability, and outcomes. In Agile frameworks, this practice is formalized through retrospectives held at the end of each iteration. These ceremonies provide a structured opportunity for the team to collaboratively reflect on processes, address issues, and implement solutions, fostering a culture of continuous learning and incremental enhancement. By prioritizing these reflections, teams transform experience into expertise, driving sustained growth and excellence in every project phase. Team empowerment, the ownership advantage. True agility happens when teams own their destiny. 3 game-changing rules we live by. 1. Task sovereignty, where teams define their work, plan their sprints, and manage their flow, because those doing the work know it best. No more handed-down task lists. 2. Estimation autonomy, only the hands building the solution can credibly estimate it. We commit to their timelines, not the other way around. 3. Continuous self-upgrade, where every retro isn't just a meeting, it's a team-led hackathon to improve their own process. No permission needed. According to a Harvard University study, empowered teams deliver 42% faster because accountability replaces approval seeking. Where could your team take more ownership today? Strategic training isn't an event, it's your team's continuous performance enhancer. 3 game-changing approaches. 1. Precision upskilling. Target exactly what's needed. Management. Conflict navigation simulations. Technical. Just-in-time cloud certification sprints. Admin. Tool-specific power user micro-courses. 2. Flexible delivery. Match method to need. Instructor-led for complex new methodologies. Virtual reality for high-stakes scenario practice. Micro-learning apps for daily skill snacks. 3. Learning integration. Make it stick with. Application sprints. Peer teachbacks. Manager reinforcement. According to ATD, teams that train this way see 73% faster proficiency gains. Those relying only on sheep dip training? 23% skill decay in 6 months. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to excellence and your dedication to mastering the profession. We wish you resounding success on your path to certification.